In Activity 12, Sight and Afterimages, students explore afterimages and discover what causes an afterimage to form. They learn how an object's color and the color of its afterimage are related. Then they use this information to create an oddly colored picture that looks normal as an afterimage. Finally, students gain insight into how our eyes perceive color. You will need the following materials from the kit: Activity Sheet 12, Parts A and B, sheets of white paper, color wheels, and crayons. You will also need to provide scissors. To prepare for the activity, make a copy of Activity Sheet 12, Parts A and B for each student. For each student, cut 2 sheets of white paper into quarters. Each student will need 8 quarters of white paper, a full sheet of white paper, and his or her color wheel. Each team of 2 will need 1 box of crayons. To begin the activity, initiate a discussion by asking the class who has had their picture taken by a camera with a flash attachment. Do you remember anything unusual that happened to your sight immediately after the flash? Students should respond that for a short time after the flash, they saw spots. Explain that the spots they saw were an afterimage caused by the exposure of the eyes to a bright light. The light fatigues certain cells inside the eye, and as a result, spots are seen until those cells have recovered. Divide the class into teams of 2 and distribute the materials. Give a copy of Activity Sheet 12, Part A to each student. Review the instructions on Part A of the activity sheet. Tell them to draw solid shapes of different colors, for example, a red square or a green triangle, on the small pieces of white paper. After the students have finished coloring the shapes, have them record their predictions on their activity sheets. Next, instruct the students to stare at only one image at a time while counting slowly to 40. When they reach the count of 40, they should look at the blank sheet of white paper, observe the afterimage, if any, and record their observations in the chart on the activity sheet. Allow time for the students to experiment with several of the colored shapes and record their predictions and results. Then discuss the class results and ask students what happened when you looked at the white paper after staring at the colored images. They should have seen the same shapes, but in colors that were different from the originals. Call the students' attention to their color wheels. Have them refer to their activity sheets to compare the color of the image they stared at and the color of the afterimage. Then ask students, what do you notice about these 2 colors in terms of their positions on the color wheel? They will notice that the colors are generally opposite each other on the color wheels. In other words, if staring at color A results in an afterimage of color B, then staring at color B will result in an afterimage of color A. Ask students what happens when you mix together colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. Students should understand that you get black. Explain that complementary colors are colors opposite each other on the color wheel. Review that colors result from removing other colors from white light. As an example, point out that blue results from taking away red, orange, and yellow, and reflecting blue, green, and violet. Then ask what happens if you do the reverse and take away blue, green, and violet and reflect red, orange, and yellow. They will see that a mixture of red, orange, and yellow light will look orange. The students should have noticed that blue and orange are complements. Explain that a color's complement can be found by taking away the light that the color reflects and reflecting the light that the color absorbs. Next, ask students, why do you think that looking at a color for a long time makes you see its complement? Help students understand that the cells in the eye responsible for a particular color get tired when looking at that particular color for any length of time. And it takes a while before the cells recover sufficiently to see that color again. In the meantime, only those cells that were not fatigued respond to the colors of light they are receiving from the white page. That is why we see the complementary colors. Finally, distribute one copy of Activity Sheet 12, Part B, to each student. Ask students, can you color in this image so that if you stare at it, you will see an afterimage of the American flag in its correct colors? The stripes should alternate green and black, so they will be red and white in the afterimage. And the stars should be black on an orange background, so they will be white stars on a blue background in the afterimage. When the students have finished coloring the flags with complementary colors, have them follow the same procedure as before to see the afterimage. To conclude the activity, return the boxes of crayons and the students' color wheels to the kit. The color wheels will be used again in Activity 13. For science background, reinforcement activities, curriculum connections, and information about the Delta Science Reader, please consult your DSM Teacher's Guide.